Hello and welcome to the Battle of Central Europe Season 3 here on HeflaTV Hitbox 2. I'm Grandis V, and for this game I should be joined by D Swordfish, but as of now, it seems that he is... Oh, there he is. Okay, so we're going to have both me and D Swordfish here on this cast for a best of two between Moscow 5 International, formerly known as Screen Squad, and Coalition of Cool Killers. Well, hopefully I do have D Swordfish on the line, but this draft is already starting off pretty quickly. We're going to see Brewmaster, Faceless Void, Death Prophet, and Razor taken out of the first stage, with a first pick Ogre, followed up by Viper Slark by Moscow 5. Okay, so it seems there's just a little bit of a delay. Okay, so we should have our secondary caster up very shortly. As for CCK, they're a team that came through, I believe, from the qualifiers, and they've done surprisingly well up against Hellraisers. They were able to go 1-1 earlier today, and it worked out pretty well for them. Their first game, I was very scared for them going into game number 2. I thought they'd just be stomped because game number 1 was a 15-minute slaughter fest, but in game number 2, they had a much more solid draft, and they were able to make things work, and that draft also started out with the first pick Ogre Magi. As for the reserve time on both teams, Moscow 5 showed up 5 minutes late, so there is a little bit of a penalty there. So 30 seconds have already been taken off. It's not super severe, but then again, they weren't super late either. Just making that clear to viewers why that actually happened. So hopefully I do have D Swordfish on the line now, but if I don't, he'll probably bump in whenever he gets here.
Hello, I'm on the line finally. Sorry, I had to take a brief bathroom break right the moment the game started, and then, yeah, that just happened. But yeah, I'm here, no problem. Alright. So, I'm happy to see Moscow 5, actually, and, I mean, there's the flick of the Slug and the Ogre Magi. Always calls for an interesting game. I mean, that's quite it. I'm just happy to see, that Slug, really. The second pick is really interesting. There's definitely something up with that, perhaps a ganking strategy.
Yeah, definitely. Slark, although he's a fairly standard hero in the meta, usually we're accustomed to seeing him like 4th, 5th, later on in the draft at the very least. Getting him this early gives the enemy team time to look for lockdown to keep that fish in place, but even if you tailor your lineup to lock down the Slark, he always has a chance to get off that Dark Pact, especially with fairly long cast animations on the stuns, especially like Ogre Magi. The silence of the puck might be a little annoying for him, but yeah, it is peculiar. It's going to angle Moscow 5 International towards more of an aggressive style of play.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to actually counter the Slark because lockdown is not really how you beat him because of his Dark Pact, like you just said. You kind of want to go... Oh, wow, Tidehunter. This lineup is really scary now for Moscow 5. But you kind of want to go for the Slark in the sense of you want to go for nukes. Perhaps, like, a Lion in this case would not be the worst of choices. We saw that last game. Didn't work too well, but a support Lion this time maybe would be a better idea. And yeah, I don't know. Right now, Moscow has a really strong lineup, and they're only missing their 2 supports, so it's quite scary as it is.
Yeah, because they are missing their 2 supports, they do have, I don't know, a limited support pool to work with since they've either been banned or picked. Most of the top tier supports, that is. As for Coalition of Cool Killers, they banned out the Disruptor, and that to me at least signals that they would have wanted to go for the Wisp, but that's banned out by Moscow 5 in the second banning stage, so maybe they've, I don't know, kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit as far as just not getting what they want in this next phase.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely seemed like I think Moscow 5 read them pretty well with that ban, but it's just I don't know. I think Disruptor actually been quite a good pickup for them, and they're gonna pick up the Doom. Not a bad choice actually. I like it, especially against the Slark and the Tidehunter. Get a Blink Doom. I think that'd be a really good idea.
Yeah, definitely. Doom is one of those ways that you can lock down a Slark. Dark Pact isn't coming out if you're able to get that off. Especially with a Blink, it's very easy to catch him off guard, and then taking out the Ravage from the fight's very crucial if you're able to find that initiation. Usually I'm not one to like the Doom, but I think here it definitely could work out for them.
Yeah, I mean, ever since the Doom was nerfed a little bit, but that lack of mute is actually quite... it destroys him a little bit, but it is true that... against a lineup like this one, that's not an issue. And wow, actually, Shadow Shaman, that's definitely not a top tier support right now. That's a weird support, actually. I haven't seen him picked a lot. What do you think of this?
I think it's perfectly acceptable for Moscow 5. It's going to give them a little bit of pushing power, and the Skywrath Mage, Ogre Magi, some of your top tier supports are already taken away from you, and I still think he deserves a place in the meta, despite getting nerfed fairly heavily, especially in the mana cost of his spells. I still think that he's solid enough to be picked up, and although Moscow 5 are going to need another support to set up for the Shadow Shaman in order to make use of the Shackles, also has a lot of lockdown at his disposal as well. I think it's a solid pickup. As for CCK, they can go for an Ancient Apparition of them, or for themselves. With the Ogre Magi, there's a decent amount of damage between these two, and Ogre Magi, as far as melee heroes, is one of the better ones at abusing that Chilling Touch, especially if you start out with boots first. It's not the scariest of two heroes, but if you do pick a third that can also benefit from that Chilling Touch damage, you can make a pretty scary aggressive tri-lane, or at the very least roaming duo.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, they have a mid and an offlaner. I think a Weaver is actually a pretty good idea here, especially that kind of it's kind of the same play as Slark. You know, hard to get the Weaver. They don't have that much lockdown, to be honest. Only the Shadow Shaman and get a Linken's, and I think a Weaver actually would be a really good pickup for Coalition of Cool Killers. Such a cool name. Yeah, so I think that's probably the hero I would go for right now if I were them. As for Moscow 5, they need quite a good support. What support would you pick? Oh, never mind. Tusk. They're gonna go for Tusk. Alright, well, what do you think of this?
It's a hero that they're actually fairly comfortable with. When they were known as Screen Squad, they were one of the only teams that consistently picked up the Tusk, and I actually quite like it. I don't know. If you're able to get a Blink Dagger or position yourself incredibly well inside the team fights, that Snowball can be used as pretty much like an AoE disruption, which is incredible, especially when you're looking at, like, just the puck as far as AoE lockdown is concerned. And you can save a lot of allies from, like, a Ancient Apparition, shattering from that, Ice Blast effect. I don't think it's the most solid of supports, but with the Shadow Shaman as well, being able to roll the Shadow Shaman into a Shackles, it's not the worst by any means, and he scales pretty well. I'd like to see teams experiment more with this Tusk, but as long as it's something they're comfortable playing with, I like the pick.
Yeah, I agree completely with you, especially, I mean, the combination of the Slurk could be pretty lethal as well. No need for Slurk to have an initiation item, which has been so popular on him, like no Blink or Shadow Blade or anything of the sort. Just get the Tusk, Snowball in, and you should be alright. And also can save it on the Dream Coil. I mean, it's a world of possibilities. I agree. Perhaps not the best support in the world, but it's just such a cool kind of a hero. Like he's so weirdly versatile. I don't know. I really like him. The question is, what is the last pick for CCK now?
For CCK, I assume we have our solo laners already picked up and they're looking towards a safe lane farmer. You talked about the Weaver, and I still think Weaver is decent, although I don't know, they probably have enough lockdown to kill off the Weaver through the most of the game, but at a certain point, he'd become unmanageable. Once he got, like, 3 items completed, I don't think Moscow 5 could kill him off, but they're going to go for the Clinks, and I think this kind of functions in a similar fashion, but that Orca is just going to be so devastating for, like, the Slark especially, without the access to his spells. If this Clinks gets off to a good start, which he probably will, especially if it's just a solo Tidehunter laning against him, it definitely could work out. I quite like it.
Yeah, I think Clinks is not bad. The only issue is he's going to have to be very careful with the Tusk. If he gets caught out of position, he's going to be completely destroyed. And Tidehunter is just, I think it's a very dangerous hero to go for. Like, Tidehunter and Tusk can really catch you out of position any point and then just completely wreck you. But yeah, I don't mind. I think the Clinks is an interesting idea. Do you think it's going to be a Blink Dagger Clinks?
I think it's going to be like Orchid BKB, and then if he feels the need for a Blink Dagger, maybe. I don't know, I'm always liking the Blink Dagger on Clinks, but usually until you get the Orchid, it's not that great.
5 seconds.
The Orchid is definitely a must in this game. It's gonna, like you said, it's probably such a basically amazing item. Once he gets it, that's gonna kind of change the game. Oh well, we're gonna have a pause as per usual in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. To start things off, it'll give us time to introduce the players at the very least. It looks like Moscow 5 are waiting on one of their players to get back in. Looks like he's AFK or something along those lines. As far as CCK, we're going to have the Coalition of Cool Killers with Tib playing on the Clinks. Our other cores, we're going to have Flowx on the Doom, as well as a Puck played by K3. K presumably going towards the mid lane, Suki on the Ancient Apparition, and Vilik on the Ogre Magi.
As for Moscow 5 International, like you said previously, known as Screen Squad, I'm actually going to wait until the last player comes in to protect the whole squad, just to be fair to that poor guy. I think he's having connection issues as well. So, yeah, I'm going to wait for him, just to be polite to him. Meanwhile, we can discuss a little bit about the drafts. What do you think? Which draft would you favor in this matchup?
I quite like Moscow 5 In's draft, but it's going to rely very heavily on what these supports are able to accomplish, and if they get levels. I don't know, it's a fairly greedy support duo, Tusk and Shadow Shaman. They can get kills, but I don't know, getting that experience is going to be pretty important for them. If they have a poor start, I like CCK, but if the supports get off to a couple of early ganks, are able to get some experience out of lane, I like Screen. or rather Moscow 5.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's interesting. I love their lineup. It's actually quite interesting. I love the Tusks, really. Anyway, let's present them. Now that they're all here, well, second pause. Beautiful. We're going to have Bignum on the Tidehunter in the off-lane position. And mid, we are going to have the... actually, the Viper? Yeah. The Viper played by Necroman. Then up top is going to be a tri-lane with... ZXC on the Slurk in the carry position, Mr. PGG with the Shadow Shaman in the support position, and finally Screen with the Tusk, the second support of that tri-lane. And yeah, it's really up to the Tusk and what he can do in this early game, because he really needs to get a lot of early kills. It's where the Tusk is strongest. He's not like Undying, like he doesn't really completely fall out in the late game, but he's really strong in the early to mid game. So he really needs to make good use of that time. It's really up to him, I think. He can really turn the tide of the game if he plays well enough.
Yeah, definitely. For now, we're waiting for Necroman to get back into the game. Hopefully, we don't have to have a remake, but that might be a possibility. It seems there's some sort of bug going on. But yeah, completely agree with you. The lanes, on paper, it looks like off-lane for CCK shouldn't be getting that much, and Flux is probably going to be just devouring a couple of creeps, gets his experience, and then goes into the jungle. But the Tidehunter, although there's a decent amount of damage, and he'll be zoned out eventually, for the early portion should be able to get his levels, and once he does, he'll be able to fall back into the Ancients, once Clinks becomes a major problem for him. And mid, it's Viper versus Puck, not the worst matchup for... CCK, but Viper still should win that, even though Puck can spam out the waves fairly effectively. But K3K shouldn't die. I think that Moscow 5, their solo laners should be doing a better job.
Honestly, I think in this case the support should help maybe a little bit in the beginning, try to offer some pressure on the Doom, but afterwards the Slark should be fighting against the Doom, especially because he's a melee hero and that Essence Shift is so strong in a melee hero, and the support should just rotate mid and bottom, try to get some kills. Because I don't think Slark really needs help against the Doom until Doom hits level 6. He can easily apply pressure without much of a commitment to it.
Yeah, definitely, and if Slark gets off to an early start, even a level 6 Doom isn't that scary if you get like level 8 or 10 on your Slark at that point, and Doom's probably going to have to leave this lane and be forced out just by the constant harass coming out from Slark.
Yeah, that's true actually, and that's, I mean, if I were the Doom, if I were Flux, I would pick up a what's it called? The Ogre Magi, the Forest Ogre Magi. I forgot. Is it still called that?
I think so. Ogre Frost Mage.
Yeah, the Ogre Frost Mage. That's it. Sorry, I'm still thinking of Warcraft 3 terms. Yeah, that the Ogre Frost Mage. I would pick that up. Get a little bit of armor. It's actually really powerful and actually great sustainability against the Slark because he's mainly physical attacks, except for the Dark Pact. So I would really go try to pick that up early and then go back to lane because I think he can get a little bit out of this lane if he plays it properly. He just needs to play extra carefully.
Yeah, for now we don't know what creeps are going to be available for him, and he's probably going to have to get whatever is in that large camp. So I'm not sure if he's going to really have and much choice over what he actually gets. Right now it's Illusion picked up by PGG, and Screen are grouped up as a duo, and if they do connect with the snowball into the shackles, there is some killing potential there, although outside of that they don't have much damage. I don't know, I think it's going to rely pretty heavily on whether or not that Slark lands his pounce, but on a stun target for that long, you better land it. And right now Flux looks like he's just way too far up. It goes for Ice Shards first, it's going to be a nice block, and they might get the shackles off, indeed they will. The pounce misses, however, and Flawix probably is going to escape here with the Scorched Earth. No, that's a fatal mistake by the Slark. If those shackles landed, or not the shackles, but rather the pounce, I think that would have been first blood.
For sure. And you yourself said it, like, how do you miss a stun target? Well, there you have it. It happens sometimes. I think they got overexcited. You should just waited until the shackles ended and then properly chain stun. But oh well. It happens sometimes. It's not the end of the world. They can still do well.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Screen go for the Ice Shards level 1, but now since you're able to control where they go, it's kind of like an Earthshaker Fissure, although not as strong. He's still got a decent block off, and I suppose that works almost as good as Snowball, since Snowball doesn't have a very long duration stun at level 1 anyway.
I like the Ice Shards, actually. It's pretty good because, as well, it can help you clear the jungle if needed. It's a little bit extra damage than the Snowball. Actually, no, never mind. The Snowball actually hits a really hard level 1. Never mind. But like, I think it's easier to harass as well if needed. It's just I think it's a good skill to at level 1, and the stun, the pseudo stun, I guess, lasts longer. The only issue I see is against that Puck, not gonna be that great.
Yeah, right now 9-3 on the Viper compared to 5-1 on the Puck, and I don't think these supports can really kill him unless Puck takes too much harass beforehand. If K3K sticks around like this, maybe he's in a bit of trouble, but his positioning seems good enough, and PGG and Screen going to make their way towards top. Haste on Screen, they're going to shackle him to start things off from the low ground. This pounce is definitely going to land, as is the Ice Shards, and Flowix probably going to fall here, although Scorched Earth might be enough. They have a Snowball this time, and with 3 heroes into it, it's going to be ZXC drawing first blood here on top lane. They drop fairly low on their supports, but second time's a charm for Musco 5.
Yeah, Screen made really good snowball, really good timing on his spells there. But honestly, just want to mention, the Spark needs to be able to time that pounce properly. He hasn't been able to. He can't do the pounce at the same time as the Ice Shards come out. That's kind of miscommunication can really lose you the game later on. So he really needs to get that straight. The second time it happens.
Yeah, I think that's not as much individual play issue than just a little bit of lack of communication. They're going to get another pounce on the Flowix, and this time they should be able to chain everything correctly. They have Ice Shards that's going to land beautifully. They have a Snowball as well. They're not going to spend it, however. Under tower, it's a little bit too risky to dive that. No mana on Tusk either.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't use the Snowball. But I agree. Now it seems like they're fixing it a little bit. Now they're getting better at it, which is good. Because this Lark and this Tusk need to have a pretty good coordination later on in the game. Especially in the mid game when they start going out for kills. I like it. It's good. I'm happy that they're learning from their mistakes. I think yesterday was when we saw the Titanhunter just kind of dive multiple times and just. Oh, it wasn't with you actually. Never mind. Ignore that. Inside joke with someone else. Sorry.
Yeah. Right now, the Titanhunter this game isn't having a great time at all. He does have level 2, but Big Dumb can't really accomplish much in this lane, put any pressure at all into Tib. Tib pretty much free farming away, and those Searing Arrows just do a whole chunk of damage into this Tidehunter. Only 1 point up in the Kraken Shell, no boots, no Stout Shield, or any way to mitigate this damage. Big Dumb's just going to be having a terrible time down here.
Yeah, I mean, it's really it's hard to fight against the Clinks because of that super amazing magical damage he has. But luckily, how many levels does he need for Kraken Shell to actually go Ancients?
I think you need, like, at least level 5, maybe even level 7. I think, like, 2 in Kraken Shell, 3 in Anchor Smash.
You don't need any more levels. Oh, yeah, because never mind, the damage scale, damage reduction does the scale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it might be level 5. I think you might be right. But I've seen them think into it level 3 decently if you get a couple tangles or something of the sort. I think Big Number really wants to transition into that, though. It's too scary to be near the Clinks with his Strafe, especially.
Yeah, he doesn't have any stacks yet, but eventually that's going to come out. PGG up top, taking one too many tower shots with that double damage and isn't able to connect with the Doom. But for now, everybody has their mana to catch this Doom out, and if Flowix walks a little too close to this lane, he'll be in quite a bit of trouble. For now, he's getting his experience and getting more experience than the Tide, and speaking of Big Num, his camp is going to be blocked by Villic. That's actually really annoying. Top,
Flowix is being dived under the tower, the Shackle's being used, and that Ice Shard just to finish him off. That's going to be a kill for Screen.
Yeah. And Tidehunter also not going to succeed with that stack because of the Ogre, so I don't know, right now it's, I don't know, blows either way. Neither of the offlaners really are finding that much. Doom has a little bit more experience than the Tidehunter, but not significantly, so he's just been zoned out, and Doom dying twice, never where you really want to be, and CXC is going to be really happy because of it. Being involved in 2 kills at this point, now with an Orb of Venom, as well as a finish to Quelly, he's going to be running this lane.
You think he's going to go for Scotty this game? As his first item, maybe?
I don't think it's the first item. I think it's going to be like Treads Blink then maybe Scotty, even though he doesn't necessarily need it since he does have a Tusk and a Tidehunter to help him initiate. I think it's just too good of an item to pass up.
That's true. By the way, just want to quickly point out, Tib has actually bought a Midas. What do you think of that on a Clinks? I've never seen that.
I like it. I think it's a nice choice. He uses the levels pretty well in most of his skills, and the extra attack speed doesn't go amiss either, and he's getting free farm in this lane. I don't think it's going to be impacting his Orchid, Blink, BKB timing enough to where it's a bad choice, and honestly I wouldn't mind if the Slark went Midas either this game since he is having such a good time. Up in top, Flowix going to be snowballed up, they have the Shackles, they aren't going to spend them, the Pounce is going to latch, and Flowix is going to die. There is TP support coming in from the Ogre Magi, he's going to shackle up, but PGG is going to fall to the burn damage as well as the tower. Everybody else makes it out alive, and it's a 3rd kill onto the Doom. This time CCK gets something out of a TP rotation, but it's still not a significant win for them.
Yeah, that was actually really good shackled, by the way, by PGG. That stopped the Ogre Magi from, getting that Fire Blast on the Slark and possibly killing the core, so that was amazingly good. In addition, I mean, it's just Slark is getting a lot of free farm, and they're not really contesting his farm. Even if they were to kill him, it would not be really a way to contest his farm, and they just need to. They need to send their supports up and try to get the Slark to start farming. Same goes for the Clinks, though. Like, both these guys are just farming away. Like, woo, like, there's no tomorrow, and that should not be happening. Especially because PGG and Screen should just be rotating bottom. It's actually a relatively easy kill with these two heroes, and a Dust.
Yeah, still Screen and PGG are getting their levels, so I think it's okay up until this point, but now they should probably leave the Slark alone. Slark is going to go for the power treads after the Aquila, so getting some nice efficient stat items, and maybe going for the Scotty first is pretty decent this game. But I think it's too late for Midas now. He might be regretting that later on. It's Screen looking up towards top as he's going to bump into Villic. Neither of them get vision since it's nighttime, but now they see each other, and now both of them need to run. There's only enough mana for one Fire Blast, and there it goes, coming out from the Ogre Magi. No body blocks, and Screen should be able to make his way out of here. If worse comes to worse, he has some Ice Shards, and that's going to be enough to make Villic as well as the Doom back off, although K3K is in the vicinity, isn't close enough to drop a Dream Coil.
Someone we haven't been talking about, by the way, at all, it has been Necroman, who's been doing really well in terms of assets. He already has his Headdress, 8 minutes in, and his, oh, actually, he has his mech, never mind. He has his mech 8 minutes in. That's actually quite great. If they start team fighting now, especially since Bingham should be hitting that level 6 relatively soonish, probably around minute 10, minute 11. Yeah, minute 11 probably. If he keeps getting pushed out of lane, then they're going to start forcing team fights, and they're going to start getting the upper hand here, the Moscow 5 people.
Yeah, for sure. That is an incredibly fast mechanism. If they don't group up in the next couple minutes, it might have been better for him to go for treads or something along those lines, but okay, so this is interesting for Clinks. Midas, I think, is fine, but Tranquil Boots? What is he actually... Oh, he's building a Soul Ring, and what he's doing is he's disassembling and reassembling the Tranquils to get that extra regen. That's pretty cheeky.
Actually quite clever of him. I like that. That's very smart. The only thing is that Soul Ring on Clinks... now plus the Midas. Usually I'd like the Soul Ring on Clinks, but maybe plus the Midas gonna delay the Orchid a little bit, you know?
Wait. He didn't disassemble him the last time. He's gonna keep Tranquils. Okay, I think that's a mistake.
No, he is. No, that's weird. No. Yeah, you're right. He bought a second ring of regen.
Yeah, I don't know. Tranquils are nice for a lane that you're really being pressured in, but even on an off-lane Clinks, I'd question getting the Tranquils in a lane that you're losing. And up against a Tidehunter where you're getting literally no pressure at all, I think this is his misplay, and he's going to sell those Tranquils. It is just gold lost.
I honestly don't understand that.
I think he just didn't disassemble them in time. There is a cooldown on it. And if you get the cooldown activated on Tranquils, I'm not sure if you can disassemble them again, so maybe him getting hit by that creep made it so he could make the boots he wanted.
That's a good point. It could be that, honestly. Otherwise, I don't really understand. Because I don't know. It just seemed like the wrong choice of boots. I think he was being a little too clever there, possibly. Anyway, they're gonna try finding him now, though. Clinks could be found out by these Screen, who's invisible. They have a Dust as well. Oh, they found something with the shards. Never mind, they didn't. They dusted him, but he's too fast. That additional movement speed actually helps Clinks a lot, because Dust won't stop him, no matter, even if you get the 50% movement speed reduction.
Yeah, and so Clinks is going to narrowly avoid death, but even so, they are almost at level 6 on Tidehunter, and they have the mech on Viper, so they're going to push down in the bottom lane anyway. Screen is going to make his way towards mid and counter push this a little bit with the Ice Shards to help defend his tier 1 in mid, but currently TP down towards bottom, level 6, got by the AA, but the ultimate's going to completely miss. Dreamcoil onto 3, and now the Aether Shock doing a truckload of damage. They do have Bignum, no Ravage for this fight. The first one to fall is the puck, and now Clink's falling incredibly low is going to be the next one to die. Necroman trying to run away. The Fire Blast and one more auto attack from the Doom are going to mean that he can't get out of there. It's a 2-for-2 trade, but CCK is supposed to defend their tower, but if you look at the heroes that fell, I think it's more impactful, and now they're going to lose Villic on top of it. Long range shackles from PGG, and now Villic, one more auto attack is all they need. Huge snowball in. They're going to be able to jump into Flawx. ZXC is going to be forced to use his ultimate, but it's still 4 heroes going the way of Moscow 5 in. They're still chasing Suki. I think they're going to have to back off here, but it's still a big trade. No, the Blink Dagger on ZXC is going to go for it even further. Down the tier 2 towers, they're going to dive. TP in from the Clinks is a little too late. ZXC, will he be able to survive? Clink's running pretty darn fast. Will he be able to catch up? He's going to be pursuing the Slark, running towards the north, but with that extra regen, ZXC is going to be just fine. He's going to blink away towards his base.
What a great play by ZXT there. Gotta admit, like he came in right there at the moment, cleaned up everyone, and got the Ancient Apparition as well. A little bit risky, but definitely worth it. And that was a team fight that Moscow 5 played without the Titanhunter Ravage. He got it just at the end of the team fight before he died. That's really, really important because the enemy team did have the Doom. In fact, they used it. They used the Dream Coil as well. That's the full potential, technically, except for the Ancient Apparition Ultimate of a team fight. However, on Moscow 5's side, you also have the Ravage, which is a huge team fight ultimate. So I would be scared right now if I was CCK. In fact, I would stop trying to look for team fights.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Right now, they just need a little bit more gold on this Clinks. He goes for the Midas, which is a nice choice when you're ahead, but after dying once and after losing about 400 or so gold because he sells those Tranquil Boots, he's now behind the Slark, and Slark going for the Blink Dagger. His immediate impact is going to be a lot greater as he blows up the Ancient Apparition. Ultimate's not going to give him that regen. Now Dream Coil spent onto a multicast. Slark is down. The Ravage lands onto 3, but there's no follow-up for it. Now Bignum's going to be in a bit of a pickle. Loser Orb going to go forward. John to it by K3K, and now the Clinks is going to be able to clean house. An ill-advised jump, but down in bottom, they're going, or top, excuse me, they're going to find Snowball kill for the Doom, and they have some Serpent Wards as well that they didn't need to use.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually a really easy kill on them. I was looking up top, and it was just he kind of like snowballed in, they shackled, and goodbye to the poor Doom. And that's really good considering only a pair of supports are already doing a lot of work here against an offlaner. So, I mean, honestly, Screen and PGG have been delivering all this game. Exactly what we said they should do, they're doing. Yeah. So, I mean, it's great.
It is, and there's Slark and Viper getting a lot. They're pretty much at their peak right now. I mean, not really at their peak, but they're the strongest, and we're going to see that up top as Puck is exploded. That usually shouldn't happen, but Snowball, Walrus Punch, and then PGG to keep him in place. Slark's just there to finish up the kill.
Yeah, and that's another one of those kills that's going to go... Actually, never mind. I'm going to miss that Ogre match. Actually going to find... I think it was a lucky Fire Blast. Like, I think it might have multicasted.
No, I don't think so. No? It wasn't necessary. Shadow Shaman was incredibly low already, and
okay.
Ogre Magi was placing wards, and then just happens across the Shadow Shaman.
That's actually really unfortunate for the poor Shadow Shaman. But oh well. Missing the importance of warding your jungle, boys.
Yeah, right now, Slark is pushing out top. The rest of the Euros are pushing down mid. Right now, CCK aren't in a great position to defend against this. So this tier 1 tower, although it's still holding on to a decent amount of HP, they're going to be more interested in stopping the Slark. Puck and Ogre Magi making their way up towards top. Ancient Apparition Ice Blast is going to fly through, but that's about all that they can do to stop this. It's actually a Midas for the Ancient Apparition. This is going to ensure that he gets his levels as well as gold, which is nice, and he doesn't have to be involved in these fights as an AA, and it's a decent timing for his support. 14 minutes in is nothing to scoff at, so I don't know, I'm okay with this choice. It's going to be double Midas coming out from CCK, and as this game goes late, it's going to be nice for them. Slark going deep into Villic. The Ogre is able to throw out a little bit of damage with the Orb of Venom as well as another pounce. It's going to be way too much as Villic's going to fall. One more auto attack is all that he needs. He'll be able to find it.
I love that Midas, by the way, on the Ancient Apparition there. I think it's actually really smart. He's going to be able to... Oh, actually, Phlox. Being stuck in that middle of those snakes, and that's a dead Doom. But the Ice Blast is going to hit. Bignum is actually in a lot of trouble. He could be going down here if the Ice Blast brings him down enough. But he's still somehow alive. The Clinks, it might find someone, and meanwhile the Ancient Apparition dies. The Clinks does not want to fully engage. He wants to just go on Bignum, but Bignum can easily Ravage. Oh, is the Ravage going to come out? No, never mind. Bignum is somehow going to survive. Wow, that was very, very lucky by his part. Tib, on the other hand, is not going to be so lucky. He's probably going to go down here against the Slark. What a beautiful pounce there. And they're slowly cleaning up. Moscow 5's getting the lead, slowly but steadily, and going to dominate this lane. I mean, this game, sorry. And they should be able to take out this tower.
Yeah, definitely. Lane and the game. Right now, that Clink's 2 of his arrows weren't searing. If he used searing arrows, he would have gotten the Tidehunter kill. He might have still died after the fact. But you still have a Tidehunter living, and he has Ravage and saving up for a Blink Dagger Doom onto the Slark. But ZXC is going to be just fine. His ultimate isn't cancelled by that Doom, and he'll be able to run away.
Oh, it's true, because now it doesn't cancel passes anymore. Wow.
I'll take that.
That sucks. That sucks for the poor Doom. That really does. He's going for SNY, by the way, the Slark. What do you think of that?
I think it's fine. At this point in the game, it's one of the most efficient items that you can get, and the way that he's playing, just diving aggressively, I think the easier build-up than going for the Scotty is going to benefit him more than saving up for a bigger ticket item.
I think definitely Moscow 5 is going for the mid game and trying to dominate the mid game. I think they've read this well. They saw Midas on the 3 Midases on the enemy team already. Doom, Clinks, and Ancient Apparition, and they kind of thought, okay, we can take advantage of this by going for a mid game and then ending it there because their push potential is quite good as well. So I like it. I really like it. I think Moscow 5 is reading well the enemy team and a Blink Dagger coming on Titanhunter, so he's gonna have a lot of initiation now.
Yeah, the only blink that we're missing is the one that eventually might come out on screen, but Klink's up in top. He's going to be shackled down to the ground by that pounce, but no detection on Slark will mean that Klinks is going to survive, but now, a little bit backup. They're going to find a Dream Coil onto nothing since the Snowball comes out. K3K is going to be shackled up. Ancient Apparition Ice Blast lands onto PGG, but nothing else. Walrus Punch into the puck is going to be the end of his life, and a multicast will finish off. The Shadow Shaman gem on the deck was secured by ZXC, but he's going to be the next to fall as he tries too hard to pick up that extra bit of gold. Now Screen fighting against 4, not a fight he can win, and CCK find themselves in a really favorable engagement.
That was a really weird, Oh wow, Ravaging come in, and there's the Viper as well. Can they get a couple kills? They just came here to get the gem, but they couldn't. In fact, they took it away already. The Doom goes down. Maybe Tib is the next one to go down here. Bignum has no way to stop him, however, and they have no dust, so it's not going to be the case.
That's also your...
That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, and that's also your Blink Dagger dying on the Courier. It was sending it out to Bignum, and Klinks just drops 2 Steering Arrows into it, so even more gold going into the pockets of CCK, despite losing their Doom at the end of that. It's a Ravage for a Doom, and then they get the Courier kill on top of it. Everything about that exchange is good for CCK.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of a little push they need to be able to get back into the game now. But man, Moscow 5 decided to go for Roshan, and again, we're gonna see these 2 supports just doing so much work here. They're gonna be able to take this Roshan probably really easily with the tankiness of the Viper and those snakes. They shouldn't have much of an issue. But the Ancient Apparition actually scouts them out. That's really bad.
It is.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it is, but nobody's in position except for the puck. He's going to throw an Illusory Orb into the pit, which is going to drop them low, but he doesn't have enough to go into there, and if he does, he'll probably die, so they can't do anything about this Roche. Everybody else is either pushing top, farming their jungle, or farming mid, so there's actually just a free Roshan going the way of Moscow 5.
I know, a proper call by the puck, if he had blinked in, Illusory Orb, Waning Rift, and Dream Coil to all of them, he would have killed at least everyone but Viper. Oh, and in fact, Stark is actually going to find an Ancient Apparition here. But yeah, I think the puck should have gone in. Little Kamikaze, yeah, but the only guy that would have been left would be the Viper, and he would have received any damage.
I suppose so. I don't know, it's risky, and other players might have gone for it, but I don't know. I think it's okay to be conservative, but you are already behind. Had they lost all of their tier 2s, maybe go for it. Up in top, however, Bignum doomed. He's in a heap of trouble, and now Tib going to pop the strafe. Bignum's just going to stop walking and die.
Oh, because he got netted, that's why.
Yep.
Alright, I was confused for a second there. No Snowball. Oh, there it is. The Snowball beautiful on Tib. That's going to be the end of that Klinks. Who's was trying to TP out. PGG is trying to find the Doom as well. There it is. He's a chicken now. Shackles coming out. There they are. But nobody here to help him out. Can they help kill the Doom? They have no way. The Doom was waiting for that beautiful... What a great TP. Doom was waiting for those Shackles because he knew he had to use them. And TP's out. Very smart.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a fairly even exchange. Losing Klinks is definitely pretty bad, and this game, Klink's build, he's going to go into a Desolator, so Orchids be damned. He's going to be doing a lot of damage either way. I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of this build. I just think Orchid offers Klinks a little bit more, but his mana sustain with the Soul Ring is pretty nice. I don't know, I still favor going for the Orchid build, although his tower pushing potential is going to be through the roof.
No, but I completely agree with you. The Orchid is just... They're not in a position where they can easily push towers or even play Rat Dota. In fact, I don't think they want to with guys like Ancient Apparition. So, I know the Desolator is going to give him a lot of damage, but it's really going to take away that possible ability to Orchid the Slark, to Orchid the Shadow Shaman, or the Titanhunter, or anything of the sort, and disrupt the enemy team fight. So I really think the Orchid was the wisest pickup here. In fact, I think Klinks was a great pickup because of the Orchid.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the benefit of having the Desolator more than anything is if they ever find a team fight win like they did previously, they'll be able to transition that into a tower push, and the rest of their heroes push incredibly slow. However, it's not going to save you from Slark jumping onto you. Slark has no detection, however, and now he's going to be tagged by an Ancient Apparition Ice Blast. Klinks is low and can't join this fray, but now Necroman going to be stunned up, ignited up. They're looking a bit of a pickle, going to eat Nether Shock, and the Corrosive Skin is going to be annoying, but nothing that Ogre can't handle. So, Moscow 5. We are not going to see them fully commit to this tower yet. Puck's going to get rid of that Invis rune by attacking a creep. Ice Shard sewn up by screen, but for now, CCK just don't appear interested in defending this tower, especially now that Serpent Wards are down.
Yeah, they're able to take this tower quite easily, actually, and CCK is going to go ahead and push, which I think they should, actually. With this Clinks now, they should be able to push towers really easily. He shouldn't even be participating in team fights. That's the Clinks they built. He has Midas, he has Desolator. He should just go ahead and push towers, apply pressure to the enemy team, let his teammates fight it out, and they have good ways with Ignite and that Ice Blast and whatnot to make sure the creep wave stays away. There's the Ice Blast, in fact, it's going to hit Slark. No, not quite. Slark has managed to make it out alive, most likely, but PGG won't have the same luck. In fact, there comes Clinks, and the Ravage comes out as well. Finally, the ultimate from the Viper. They're going to try to kill the Ogre Magi, but wow, Slark doing a lot of work, and the Ogre Magi is going to go down as well. There, they turned the team fight completely. Both Clinks, Ogre Magi, and Ancient Apparition down. They want the Doom. They're going to pounce on him, and the Doom is going to use his Doom, but that's not going to do much, actually. Slark doesn't really care. He's just going to heal it up, and then come back into the team fight. And, Blink by the Puck, yeah. Seems to not do much. He has the haste rune, and he's going to run around, but for now, he's going to keep doing this push. He's really taking advantage of that haste rune, but it's done. That haste rune is over, and the Puck is now, again, a squishy target. So they're just going to take this tower, knowing that the enemy team has no way to defend it. Which is very smart.
Definitely. Even though ZXE gets the buff from the Ancient Apparition onto him, he had the Aegis that was about to expire anyway. Another Ancient Apparition Ice Blast is going to be pretty good. Lands onto the Slark, and he's probably going to take down, and he kills himself with a Dark Pact, unfortunately enough for him. Viper's Strike going to be disjointed a little bit, and for now that's going to be the cost of this push coming out for Moscow 5 in. Nice pickup for the Ancient Apparition, but still saving up for that Aghanim Scepter quite a far ways away from it. Going for this Midas is going to mean that he gets his level 11 faster, but it will delay the Ags a tiny bit.
Yeah. Oh well. Right now, though, we're gonna see that both teams are gonna be content with. Actually, no. CCK takes every opportunity they have to just kind of farm away, which I like. They definitely can get back into the game still. Just the only thing I'm just dubious about is the fact that Clinks went for that build, and they're still going for the team fights. I think an important thing about builds is that there's no correct build. Only there's a correct playstyle for each build, and if you go for a certain build, it's built for a certain playstyle, and the build Clinks has right now is for the tower pushing Rat Dota playstyle rather than for the team fights, because Orc is much better for that. So I don't fully agree with what he's doing right now. He's not really applying the pressure he should be applying.
Yeah, I mean it definitely is hard to apply that pressure for him, but you know, I agree. I think aggressively pushing is probably a better way about doing this. Still, inside the teamfights, having that Desolator for the extra damage from the Clinks is important, but
that's true.
Yeah, he definitely needs to, I don't know, get another item or two before he's really that impactful. If he had a BKB on top of this Desolator, I think joining the fights is the right choice. But without it, he's just so squishy and ends up dying. Even though last fight he was able to take a couple down with him. Yeah,
but they were really low as well. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I think pretty much any other hero could have done that.
I don't know. The Clink is still. He can also gank a lot. Something we haven't seen the Clinks do. It's something that you really don't see Clinks doing that much until they get an Orchid. But there it is. They're going to use Strife, and Necroman is in trouble. The Doom being used on Necroman. Wow, they really want to kill this guy. And he's probably going to go down. There it is. One last hit by the Ogre Magi. That's going to be a dead Viper. But meanwhile, they're applying pressure up top, and they don't care. They have these snakes by PGG. They really want to get these racks now. And they also put a ward down. Yeah, they really want to get these racks. So they're going to go for the melee racks. Interesting choice, actually. The snakes are going for the range, but they're going for the melee. I think there's a little bit lack of communication. But the lazy take the racks.
Yeah, they'll take the ranged barracks. Ravage comes out from the Tidehunter, lands onto Tib, but PGG is the first to fall. Flawworks is in this fight, but with no Doom. Walrus Punch is going to secure the end of Clinks' life. ZXE being focused down will drop, and now it's going to be a 3-for-1 trade. Although the barracks does go the way of Moscow 5, Screen still inside the enemy base. Flawworks dropping low, fighting around those snakes. Not a very good idea. Now the Anchor Smash is going to secure yet another kill for Moscow 5. It's currently 2v3, and the multicast ends Tuskfly. Bignum trying to make TP out, but a secondary multicast is that Aghanim Scepter coming out from the Ogre Giant is going to be enough to secure a full 5-man wipe for CCK. If Bignum survives, and he won't, another multicast coming out from that unrefined Fire Blast is going to do him in.
Yeah, I mean, that was quite an interesting team fight, because like you want to say that they had let Moscow 5 did a good job there, but they only took a ranged racks and lost almost their whole team actually, because Viper died earlier. So I don't know. I mean, that's CCK is definitely taking advantage of these opportunities where they're playing a little bit too aggressively, maybe.
Yeah, if they committed all the way to the melee barracks and they got the melee barracks instead of the range, I'd say that's worth it for Moscow 5. But right now, CCK, they get both of the Ags on their supports now. The one finished on the Ancient Apparition, and although the Clinks dies, they get a full 5-man wipe, and it's going to be beneficial for them, all things said and done, and holding like this is better for them since they are running with 3 Midases.
Yeah, those three Midases, I think, is really hindering their game. It led them to such a late game. I mean, look at that though, 27 minutes Aghanim. It's starting to pay off really. Quite impressive on the action operation. Doom, however, no auras on him because of that Midas. He could possibly have Shivas at this point. Same with the Clinks. It just really delayed their items, and they really need to rely on that late game now. And I don't know. Again, I don't think there's coherence between I don't think there's a synergy. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. A synergy between the item builds and their playstyle.
I think that has its merits, and although it has delayed their fighting potential until now, if you take this game for another 20 minutes, eventually you're going to have like an Ags Refresher Doom, and that's when the Midas starts really kicking in, and for now they're holding, so I don't know, despite Moscow 5 feeling like they have the advantage inside the team fights, they haven't been able to push high ground, which is scary for me, because these tier 2 towers that are still left on the map for CCK to take is just extra gold that's going to be in their pockets, and they're getting farm on everybody, and most of the heroes do scale decently well with it, so eventually we're also going to see Size of Ice on these supports. For now, Moscow 5, I still stay there in the driver's seat, but 10-15 minutes, CCK, these Midases are going to pay off. It really depends on whether this next Aegis is A, going to go to Moscow 5, and B, whether or not that Aegis is going to mean that they push high ground.
I think it's because the Moscow 5 just kind of went so much for an early to mid game, which I thought was genius before, but they had to close the game quickly though. Like that Sanjin Yasha started to lose its power. He's gonna get a Scotty soon, but still, that Scotty is probably the last item that Stark will get. That's super big item. That's this core, I guess. And then everything else will be luxury. But I know it's just that they went for such an early game, mid game build that right now they're kind of to the point where it's like, oh, how do we finish this? We need to finish this.
Yeah.
Oh, Dagon Puck. Oh, that's interesting.
I think it's fine. I don't think there's much else that the Puck would have been able to get that would have an immediate impact. I think saving up for the Scythe of Ice would have been my personal choice. But
Yeah.
if you look at the Slark inside these team fights, he's dropping pretty fast, and that extra burst damage, it's a pretty large volley coming out from the Puck, especially if you get it amplified by the Icy Vortex. So, I don't know, it's an okay choice coming out from K3K, although it's not my favorite. I think it can still work out.
Yeah, Dagon Puck has been so popular lately, and I really don't understand why. There's a lot of idea, oh, you can burst them down with Dagon and stuff, but I don't know. You get Ginzus and you turn the Slark into a chicken. That's definitely gonna be a dead Slark. He can't run away. I don't know. But it is true that it's a cheaper item, so that's actually a good point. Maybe they just kind of want to last till the late game, like you said, start using the Midas efficiently. That's possibly their plan right now, and I would agree. They need a couple items that have an immediate effect, so they can. Like the BKB, it's going to be built on Clinks. Actually, no. The BKB is that Clinks has. They just need to build or put together.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the mentality. I think Puck's decision, at least for now, is like Dagon or Yules. And although Yules is nice to kind of disrupt a team fight, I think the Dagon's going to have a better immediate impact and potentially for this fight around the Roshan pit. It hasn't been started yet by Moscow 5, and if they drop the Serpent Wards inside the pit, it's going to be a pretty fast Roshan for them. But I still think CCK, in their current position, have the potential to contest this, especially since they're going to know it's happening once this Ice Blast flies through. I don't know, it depends on ZXC's positioning. If he stays where he is, the Ice Blast isn't going to spot him out. Yeah, I don't know, it just depends on where they sit.
I might think, I don't know, the Ice Blast is already shot. I can't, oh yeah, I think it's going to get hit there before they're there. Like, look at where it is. Can I ping it?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's there. I mean,
What's with all the script?
let's do some math here. Do we know the Ice Blast speed?
Not off the top of my head. Let's see.
Let me see. I love this little math time here. With Dota. They taught me math this way. I would definitely ace it. It doesn't say on the thing. Ice.
Napkin math with these swordfish. While he's looking up for that, let's see. What else is there to consider for this upcoming team fight? Right now, if the Aegis does go the way of Moscow 5 and CCK, even if this Ice Blast hits, I think they should know that Roshan is being attempted. They don't have immediate vision around the Roche Pit though, so that might be a bit of a worry for them. They do have some close, so if anybody steps across this line, they'll be spotted out. Actually, you can't draw while it's paused. That's kind of annoying.
You can draw on the map if you want to, but that's it. Yeah. By the way, I discovered it. So the Ice Blast takes 3 seconds. It's an exponential curve, but it's made so it takes around 3 seconds every time it's shot. And considering it's over here already, it's probably. I mean, where's the ancient apparition? Over here. That's 2/3 maybe. Yeah, like I said. Woo. Okay, math proved me right. All right, good.
Actually, no, they got vision of ZXC.
Oh,
his
they did?
passive.
Oh,
yeah.
Because when he hit. Oh no, that's bad. Now they know they're in Roche, but they hit. Wow, that's interesting. Why? They did. Are you sure they got vision? Look at where
They
they're
pinged
smoking
it.
out.
Doom pinged it. I don't understand.
Okay, this is
And, yeah, and his passive disabled. They must have seen him.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I agree with you. Like I saw his passive just go off for a second, but it also doesn't make sense because what are they doing?
I don't know. I think they were close enough to where they could contest that. They have a decent team at fighting inside the Roshan pit. It is scary up against the Tidehunter, but I don't know. They didn't have the Klingsby KB delivered, which I think is the biggest issue. It was on the courier, but maybe it wouldn't have been there fast enough. I don't know. It is an interesting move by CCK. Even more interesting is that they decided to smoke up. Like
yeah. It's like they were expecting to find something in the jungle there, which is weird because obviously they knew that nobody was going to be in the jungle.
Yeah, maybe they expected Slark to solo Roshan, and everybody else was away from him. I don't know, Tier 2 Tower is going to go the way of Moscow 5 in, and Tier 2 Tower is already fallen up in top, and Klinks, he's going to go for high ground tier. He's going to not turn on the strafe. There's the strafe. Now going to the Tier 3 Tower. He's missing over. Now he's shackled. Tib is in a whole heap of trouble. Can't get the BKB off, and he's dead.
Oh my god, that's a huge kill. There's no buyback on this Klinks. This is the time where they can just push out.
Yeah.
In fact, they should be. I don't know what this. I mean, the Sorga's getting. Okay, never mind. The Sorga's had it's a good time to farm.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't agree, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can we just, by the way, just briefly, can we look at this beautiful courier? It's a Tusk riding a sigil.
It's quite nice. Yeah, and it's called mini screen. That's awesome. Okay, screen himself is going to be multicast to oblivion. My goodness. That double triple.
That RNG, that was, what is, a triple, 2 triples? Double triple.
I think it was 2 times, 3 times. Maybe it was 2, 3 times. I don't know. That was a lot of damage.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes when that happens and you're just playing against Ogre Magic, you just want to, like, smash your face into the keyboard and just cry.
Yeah, poor Tusk himself ends up dying. Currently, CCK, after that pickoff, it's going to be a little bit harder for Moscow 5 to push, and their lanes aren't in a good situation for them to take towers. Bottom lane's all the way up to their tier 2, mid lane's almost at their tier 2, and top lane's not in a great spot either. But ZXC, he'll kill off Suki, he'll be tagged by that ultimate, now with a level death. ZXC might fall, but not with some backup. They're going to get a ward trap on a Flawix, and he's going to fall. ZXC might take down to this. His ultimate isn't going to proc because there's heroes up on that high ground. He's going to lose his Aegis immediately. Should be able to get out of here alive. Blink forward. PGG going to be fire blasted. Not a multicast. The secondary multicast also not going to come out. PGG saved by Ravage. Ends up dying to the AoE damage coming out. And now they're going to clean up the Ogre Magi as well. That's a gem as well going the way Moscow 5 end. And now the tides have turned. Klinks is the only one surviving for CCK.
Yeah, and he really doesn't have the best base defense either. He's more of getting behind the enemy team and winning. I think maybe Quink's best bet, and it's very risky, mind you, but is to try to push the lane and offer some pressure or something of the sort. Like I don't think you can do much against this, unless everyone buys back. Never mind. I take back. That's the best bet. Everyone buy back. By the way, what courier died?
I have no idea how that died. There was no enemy heroes over there.
That's a lot of gold on the courier, though. 4,000 gold? Jesus Christ. Screen, by the way, being slowed here, and Tib is so fast. He's going to destroy Screen. Nothing to do about that. I don't know why he was so fast there. Wow, that's a level 4 Windwalk. Other things we learn. So, yeah, I don't know what was on the courier. I think he might have been Scotty, actually. Yeah, I think it was Scotty.
It was Scotty plus a Ring of Health for Bignum.
Oh, that's bad. And that's actually quite bad. That earlier Scotty could have, like, I mean, they could have snowballed out of control. Now they have
Yeah.
to wait 2 minutes. In addition, he's going to get Basher as well now. I mean, I think it's coming to him really soon. He's just missing that final piece, only 800 gold away. I mean, this Slark is starting to look really, really, really scary. And Tib is not on the same level as him. He only has a BKB, which is very defensive.
Dire's
Yeah,
mid
but I mean, when you look at the net worth, that's a little deceiving since effectively 5,000 of that is currently dead. And then you also have a refresher that was coming out to the Tidehunter. He just needs the 2 components. He would have had it now if he didn't get that courier killed. So that's actually a very significant courier pickoff that I don't even understand what happened. It died over by the side shop, and everybody on the side of CCK was dead except for the Clinks, and Clinks was top.
Yeah, I don't really understand what happened, to be honest. I think maybe just a misclick of one of the people.
Yeah, I assume it was like Ancients that killed it. They were aggroed maybe? I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Things happen. When the courier comes back, it's only a minute left. I think they're gonna want to push. And even though they don't have the Aegis have been kind of wasted, to be honest, in this game. It's not like they've been used to the best effect.
Yeah. They really haven't accomplished much of anything, and still it's CCK holding. It's Moscow 5 that are incredibly scary, but now they have a blink on the Clinks. Okay, so although I'm usually a fan of blink on Clinks, I'm not sure if this is the game for it. It's going to be a nice positioning tool in the team fights, but it's going to be costing quite a bit of damage. Ancient Apparition and Puck Nukes blow up a Shadow Shaman in mid in the meantime. But yeah, without the Orchid, I think the Blink Daggers is a lot of its effectiveness, and I think Tib should have just gone for something a little bit more hard-hitting.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I love Blink Dagger Clinks as much as the other guy, especially the first time I saw it was just beautiful, but Blink Dagger Clinks is also made with a specific kind of Clinks in mind, and this is not the kind of Clinks in mind. Unless, once more, you're going for split push. This build is so beautiful for split pushing. Like, it's amazing, but he's not doing that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. So you got to be kind of, Jesus Christ. Consistent, that's it. That's the word. All these words that start with CO, and they all mean very, very similar, beautiful things. But yeah, he has to be much more consistent. If he's gonna have this build, he has to play with it. And again, that's the issue I'm seeing with Clinks. Wow, all the items just coming out at once for Moscow 5.
The courier just respawned, and all those items were on the courier. So there's your Scotty, now complete on the Slark, to go with his Basher. Slark is a beast, and his items, although he doesn't have the Midas, he's pretty much capped out right now. He can get the Abyssal, replace the Aquila, but as far as effectiveness is concerned, this is about where Slark hits his tippy top. And also for Tidehunter, eventually you might see his Scythe or his Shivas, but Bignum has his double Ravage, and really that's all you can ask for coming out from the Tidehunter. This is Moscow 5 pretty much at their greatest strength.
Well, no, I think the Slark has I mean, he's one of those heroes that if you get him a Mjolnir or something of the sort, I think it's still very useful. Any attack speed item on the Slark makes him incredibly powerful. I don't think Slark ever hits his stop. He's just I think he's really one of those super late game carries if used properly. Just pounce on someone, just starts hitting away with the fastest speed possible. Honestly, but hey, it's
Fair enough.
It depends on how you play him as well. So
Right now, they found Flawx, and Flawx is dead. He's going to be hexed up. There's not a chance. First Ravage comes out, lands on the 3. Second Ravage lands on the 3 as well. And now Villic focused down by the Viper and the Slark. Tib, Invis, not going to save you. There is a gem. He's going to be able to make his way back towards base, but Slark pursuing. Going to be silenced up by the Puck, but the melee barracks is almost sure to fall. Although there is backdoor protection. The creeps are all the way back here.
yeah, it's a little bit unlucky by their part. That I don't think they realize that with the snakes, they're just kind of like waiting now for the creep wave to come. The snakes will kind of. They have only 14 more seconds of snakes. I mean, I think by the time the creep waves comes there, the snakes might be able to get 1 or 2 attacks in, but that's it. Yeah, actually, no, they're gonna just get there at the exact moment that the snakes kind of disappear.
They'll get the melee barracks either way. Buyback from the AA. He's going to throw out his ultimate, but that's about all that he can do. It's going to land on the Slark as well as on the Viper, but Moscow 5, they got what they came for, and that's the first lane of Rax, and maybe they can look for reinitiation. Blink forward, Shadow Shaman doesn't find anybody. Not close enough.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, what do they do? Like, can they can easily take these other center racks if they choose to do so. They just need a good team fight now.
Yeah, I think right now they just need to focus on pushing out the lanes. Mid and bottom are pushing in towards their side of the map. So that's what they're going to do. But yeah, taking the second set of racks is going to be a lot easier for them now.
You think they should take it calmly at this point, or they should just push, try to get quick racks and stuff like that?
I think you I don't know, push out these lanes and then go for the second set as soon as you have Serpent Words again. That's 30 seconds, so I think you just start pushing now. They will be fighting without Ravage, however, so that's pretty risky, and they have Doom available on the enemy side, so maybe you wait for your double Ravage as well.
Yeah, I guess that's also true. I mean, that double Ravage is quite powerful. You saw in the last fight. You catch Clinks twice in that, and the Clinks is almost half dead. I don't know, what item does Tidehunter go for now that he's done? Just save for buyback? I would go for a Veil, actually. I think that'd be really fun to see.
I'm not sure if there's enough magic damage to warrant the Veil. Oh no, it's a nice item, but I think saving up for buyback first and foremost, and then going for like a Shiva's or a Scythe.
That's true. Shiva's is actually a really good item, especially against the Clinks. Will really slow him down. And the Aghanims on the... Oh, that's actually a really good item, because now they have the Super Snakes. These snakes deal so much damage. And if Shadow Shaman ever picks up a Refresher... But obviously, hopefully, I think their goal is to finish the game before that happens. But yeah, now that they go near like the tower, it's gonna disintegrate just near the presence of those mighty snakes. And all they need to do is get off a good Ravage and a proper team fight, and I think that's pretty much GG.
Yeah,
it's all up to how well they can perform now.
Right now, Ancient Apparition, he thinks about buying an Ultimate Orb, but he's going to think better of it. Okay, there we go. He doesn't have buyback for another couple of minutes anyway, since he spent it in the last fight, so he's going to commit towards that, presumably for a Scythe of his own. But right now, Slark, or rather, Clinks hasn't gotten any more items, but it's going to initiate. There's the Ravage, number 1, Ravage number 2 onto literally everybody. Tip is going to be focused down after the Doom, buyback from the Doom, trying to get back into this fight. Slark also wants to join the fray. If they die now, it's all but over. Suki's going to fall, and now the Puck in a bit of a pickle, going to John to his orb, maybe, but it's going to be a little too late. Doom goes the way of ZXC. ZXC in a bit of trouble if he gets focused down by the Clinks, but Clinks can't find the target. Slark is going to die, but buying back into this fight. Tip is down. It's a rampage for Necroman, and GG, well played.
Oh, that's quite unfortunate. The Shadow Shaman was down, so they wouldn't have been able to push that much. But I mean, it's obvious. I think that team fight where you buy back and everyone does this twice is just too bad. It's too discouraging. Hopefully they get on to the next games with higher morale.
Yeah, we're going to see Moscow 5 International taking the first game in this Best of 2 series. CCK, they started out with getting stomped, and then they come back and they stomp the enemy team, and now we're going to see them fight pretty evenly. I definitely think they have what it takes to get a game off of Moscow 5. Let's see if they're going to be able to pull it together in Game 2. I'm Granite Svi, I've been joined by D Swordfish, and we'll be back soon.